Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the FS Theatre and welcome to Lillestead in Amsterdam here at FS Weekend. How are you all doing? Come on. There we go. That's better. Cool. So thank you very much. We have a full crowd. This is fantastic. It's so amazing to see so many flight simmers all in one place, sharing that same enthusiasm and passion for the hobby that we all love and enjoy. So today we have an amazing packed bunch of seminars from a range of developers, exhibitors, and hardware people as well. So you guys are in for a real treat. Just a few housekeeping things very quickly before we do get started. We are very full in here today. As you can see, there is not a spare seat in here. If you do need to leave if at any point today, please come down the stairs and take the exit over to this side rather than going up the stairs. And please do not go over to this side. The exits are behind you. They are designated by the signs. If you know me, I'm also cabin crew, so I better do the obligatory. But otherwise, we hope you enjoy today and the rest of the show. So it gives me great honor and privilege to introduce our first seminar today, the wonderful guys at Navigraph. They have an amazing talk for the next 15 to 20 minutes, and then hopefully we'll have some time for some questions as well. But it's without further ado, Magnus from Navigraph, please welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you, FS Elite. Very nice to be here. So nice to see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of new faces. Navigraph has been around for 20 years, and I believe it was 18 years ago since we were last here at FS Weekend. So it was about time that we came back, and what an evolution that we have seen. The airport, the place, the faces, the people here, it's fully packed auditorium, and quite honest, I think we ran out of giveaways, so we clearly underestimated the popularity of this event. So happy to be here. So thanks for inviting us, Niels and Janice. Let's see, I had something prepared here. But I'd like to make some changes to it. Does anyone have a pen? No? Okay, crap. We'll have to make do without it. Thanks. We're from Stockholm, Sweden. Navigraph was founded about 20 years ago. Me and Stephen O'Connell, we were working at SAS when we heard in the support department there that we would like to buy some charts and we would like the outdated kind, to which SAS replied, heck no, we cannot do that. And that was the future of Navigraph, because we realized that there was a huge potential for not only charts, but also navigational data and flight planning. And over the last 20 years, this is what we've been providing you guys with. And I'd like to start this speech by thanking you all for the support that you have been giving us, because hadn't it been for you guys, we wouldn't have had the time and the resources to develop the tools that we're offering you. So this is a mutual exchange, and thank you very much for that. 3 years ago, we made a significant investment, you could say, because we decided to scrap everything we had. So the databases and the code, we all put it aside and we said, let's start fresh. And in November of 2022, Navigraph Charts version 8 saw the light of day. And with it came support for all platforms. So we basically rewrote the code base from scratch just to make sure that we're ready for the future. So we're going to be here for a significant... and with it came a rapid evolution of features. And here today, we will see one of our latest feature releases, which I hope that you will appreciate. It looks seemingly simple, which it normally does, but behind the scenes, there's been a tremendous amount of work. The team at Navigraph, currently 32 members, have been hard at work preparing this for you. Well, not everyone. Some people are working in support as well, but the majority of the developers have been busy preparing this for you. With me here today on stage, I have Stephen O'Connell, Chief Technical Officer and also co-founder of Navigraph, and Martin Tranquel, who is our pilot training lead. And you're like, wait a minute, pilot training lead. I haven't heard that before. That's right. This fall, we're preparing a new project at Navigraph, which we have chosen to call a Navigraph Academy. And it basically stems from the fact that you guys have been missing an instruction manual. The software is getting complicated to the point where we need to take it from the beginning. And that's why we're taking this initiative to create tutorials and teaching material from the basics. So I'm taking away a little bit from the focus of the feature here. I just wanted to make a little plug that Navigraph Academy is something that you want to follow. Okie doke, let's see, where was I? I think I'm done talking actually. Over to the stuff why we're here. Please roll the movie.
All right, so now you know annotations. I'm going to give you a brief background. I'm Stephen O'Connell, CTO and co-founder. We, as Magnus mentioned, are really driven by you guys. Your feedback, your input is what is guiding our development. We have a super long roadmap and wish list. Maybe you know in our forum we have a wish list where we collect feedback. We collect feedback at events like this, in social media. And actually in our wish list, one of the top requested features of the past few years has been the ability to draw on the charts. And this is what we've been working on now in the past few months. So actually, to be true, this is not the first time we have annotations in Navigraph. Some of you may have used our apps like 10 years ago. Anyone here who had used Navigraph like 10 years ago who actually used annotations back in the days? None. Okay, great. Oh, one. Okay. 2. Okay. 3. Well, coming. Okay, 2. All right. Back then it was only the iPad app because every app was written in its own code base. It was very hard to move features across to the different platforms we want to support. As mentioned here, we released the Charts 8 1.5 years ago, and this enabled us to actually release features in a much more rapid pace. So now we are able to develop a feature and move it across into all the different platforms at once. So annotations is now available, or not now, I'm coming to that. It's going to be available on iPad, Android, web, desktop, and even the MSF's in-game panel. And this is using basically the same code. So this is one of the long range of features that we're planning in the near future. And this is something that's going to be available, hopefully, when we get back home to Sweden. So it's not released yet, but we're going to show you how this looks. So we're going to give you a little sneak peek. And helping you with this is Martin Tranquel. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, everyone. Very nice to be here. I'm very excited. My name is Martin Jankel, like both the gentlemen have told you. Before I went to Navigraph, I was a commercial pilot. I worked as an airline captain on the ATR 72-600. And before that, I was a commercial flight instructor as well. So I am super excited about being here talking about the new annotations feature because I've used it quite a lot in real life. We did use annotations extensively in the flight deck, and I've also used it in smaller planes as well. So I think we will add realism, and we will also add convenience through this. And Stephen is going to run it. I'm going to try to guide you a little bit in a few examples on how you can use this. And Stephen will try to do the annotations while I do that. So we'll see how that works. So please, yeah, Stephen, if you could. I flew out of Arlanda. I'm Swedish as well. So I would prefer us to be in Arlanda, which is over there. And then we can sort of go through a few plates on our trip over to Helsinki. So Stephen, could you pull up the taxi plate? There's something called a departure routing taxi plate for Stockholm Arlanda. Here we go. So before we do the annotation, I just want to explain if maybe some of you have tried this, but in Stockholm Arlanda, you actually have something called standard taxi routes. And a standard taxi route means that when air traffic control calls you up, when you get a taxi clearance from air traffic control, they will actually not give you any taxiways in the clearance. So what they would do is they would say something like Scandinavian 081 cleared to holding point runway 26. And note there's no taxiways in the clearance, right? But if you take a look on the plate, there's actually small arrows, and you're supposed to follow these. And we used annotations for this. So, Stephen, let's pretend we're at gate 42, which is at the bottom. And we have been given that clearance that I just gave you. So we are supposed to follow the standard taxi route. That would mean going up from 42. So you could draw that up through Zulu Golf. Hopefully this works, Stephen. There you go. And all the way up through Yankee, turn right on X-ray, and we end up on X-ray 2. And the way we did this in real life is we actually drew this before we even got the clearance. So we did a little briefing. We said we can probably expect runway 26 because you can get that on the 80s. And then we drew this, we got the clearance, and it usually was the same thing. And as far as I'm aware, VATSIM does the same thing in Arlanda, so it's the same rules. You can probably go talk to them about that later, but I believe that is so. Sometimes you will be given another clearance. So this was the 95% of the time case, but sometimes you got another clearance, and we can do that through annotations because we have different colors. So Stephen can pick another color, be ready with the other color. We call for the clearance, and the clearance comes through, and it says maybe cleared to holding point runway 26 via Zulu November. So that will go all the way up there, turn left on Zulu November, and then X-ray 2 as well. So annotations here help you with both preparing but also reacting to clearances in this case. So that's one use we have. All right. Should we do another one? Maybe the approach plate for Helsinki? Because you can definitely use this for approach plates as well. So let's pretend we're supposed to do this ILS to left at Helsinki. And one thing that I made mistakes with this in real life sometimes. So if you take a look on the notes in the header here, so Stephen, maybe, yeah, exactly that one. The number 2 says minimum 150 knots until distance 4 from touchdown zone. And some of you probably have tried this. Some aircraft, they struggle a little bit in maintaining, at least getting down to final approach speed in this short of distance. And it's also easy to forget to actually maintain 150 to 4. So this is something I would highlight. And we can use squares, not squares, rectangles in this case. And we can also use circles in annotations in Navigraph charts. So that could be one thing. So when you're on the approach later, you would actually be reminded because you would see the big square or the big rectangle. And that would remind you that, yeah, right, I'm supposed to maintain 150 to distance 4. That's another use case here. And you can do whatever you want with this. This is just some things I did. The possibilities are, of course, endless. You will probably figure out a way to do it yourself. I just want to show you, this was charts, but then we have our flight plans as well, our operational flight plans. And you can draw annotations on those as well. So here's a flight plan for the same flight that we generated before this talk. And exactly. We talked about this. We could probably show this. So when you're getting the clearance from air traffic control, you probably have a pen, a pencil, and paper, and you're ready to copy. If you're flying VATSIM, this is probably something you've tried as well. What you could do with annotations is you could go to this page on the operational flight plan, and you have your routing, your expected route. So that's the filed flight plan to VATSIM, or in real life to air traffic control. And what would happen most probably is air traffic control will come back and they will say, yeah, you're clear to destination via Tovri 5 Golf, the SID, and flight plan route. And what I usually did, I drew an arrow, just like Stephen is doing right now. And that to me indicated that, okay, I was cleared Tovri 5 Golf, and I was cleared the flight plan route. And now I have actually written down my entire clearance, right? Without writing a single word. So that could help. If you got something else, I didn't even see what I was, but obviously we're back up and running again. So if you receive something else, you could write that down in the departure ATC clearance box that's just below. And one common thing you could get was radar vector. So clear Tovri 5 Golf and thereafter expect radar vectors. And you could put an RV or something there. Stephen, you could probably try that. If you can, I don't know what the arrow was. Okay, good. So something like that. And you can, of course, find your own way of doing this. Some people have their own symbols for different clearances. Final thing we can show, we can probably go down to the weather charts. So if you want to annotate something on the weather charts as well, you can of course do that. And on this chart we have icing, and medium turbulence. So you could probably draw a circle around that. Yeah, that's a square, that works too, but we have circles. So you can choose whatever you want. All right, so that's some ways you can actually use annotations when you're flight simming. And it's very realistic. I'm very excited about this feature. I fly a lot now. Of course, I fly the ATR because I used to fly the ATR, so I'm quite interested in that. But I've missed this feature in Navigraph charts. So I'm excited because we're announcing it, but I'm also excited because I'm going to go home on Monday and actually use this feature as well. All right. Stephen, final words?
Quick question.
Yes, quick question. It's on the cloud, so whatever you do in one device will be reflected in the others.
So you pin it, and it will be persistent.
Yes. So thank you very much, Martin, for this, for guiding us through this demo. As I mentioned before, this is not yet released on the App Store. It hopefully will be when we get back home. But right now, you can actually try this out in our booth. So if you come to our booth, we have now reloaded all the iPads with annotations, so you can try it out yourself. And that's it for this demonstration. We're happy to take any questions if you have any more questions right now.
Do you need this pen now, or can I give it back?
We can give it back.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So we have time for just one question. I know that's quite short, but obviously these guys have an amazing booth over in this other area, so please feel free to go and see them later. So I saw the gentleman just up there with his hand up. So the question was, is it also on the web browser as well?
Yes.
That was easy. We've got time for another question. Take the gentleman here.
So you showed us the applications on a notebook. Is the Apple Pen supported on
Yes. On iPad, Apple Pencil is supported, and it's actually really convenient.
We used it last night, so it definitely works. It was very convenient. Yeah.
And we have one pencil in the booth, so you can try it out there.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please do give it up for the Navigraph team.